and Kelly Santiago, alumni of the USC Interactive Media and Games program, who went on to found that game company.
Hi, I'm Genova Chen, and I recently worked on as a senior animator on Kung Fu Panda 3.
And I'm Kelly Santiago, and I most recently worked as a motion capture production coordinator for Kung Fu Panda 3.
That's something like what our introduction tonight might have been if it hadn't been for tonight's Ambassador Award winner, Tracy Fullerton.
Okay. In nearly every way possible, she changed the course of our lives forever. So we have a lot we can tell you about her, but we figured we'd actually tell you some of the things she's accomplished in her career as a game designer, entrepreneur, and academic. All right, Genova, can you pull out the resume so you can go through it?
Here it is.
Tracy.
This is real, okay? And for someone with a quarter century in the industry who has accomplished so much in so many different fields, it's just impossible to go throughout this.
So we're going to cover some of the brightest highlights, which is something akin to finding flashlights on the sun, but we'll try. Many of you might be familiar with Tracy's pivotal book for every game designer, Game Design Workshop. It captures that philosophy which inspired me to pursue a life of game making, that game design wasn't a magic dark art that could be only performed by a select few, but instead it's a practice, a vocabulary that could be taught and understood by anyone that wanted to learn. And most importantly, that game design is a tool that can be wielded to express anything that you want. Under the stewardship of Tracy and her colleagues, the USC Interactive Media and Games Department and Game Innovation Lab have become a vital artery of independent and experimental development and a safe space to which everyone is invited to play and create. She doesn't just turn you into a passionate gamer, she turns you into a passionate game maker. And then, once she has you there, she'll take it one step further and turn you into a critical thinker, a game changer.
Tracy's positive energy is so contagious that to push the boundary of a medium has deeply become our own motto. If Tracy hasn't suggested me to change we work on the student game Cloud, right? If she didn't suggest to change the protagonist from into a child instead of the invading alien spaceship, which I originally proposed, our game would not end up, it will end up become about violent destructions instead of dream and healing. And if that game wasn't made that way, we would have not touched many people across the globe, and particularly people who doesn't even play games. And with their passionate letters, without their passionate letters, we won't even have the courage to start a company. And there wouldn't be that game company, or Flow, or Flower, or Journey. There's this idea that there should be a game for everyone. It's pretty easy to understand today, but I got this concept 13 years ago when I stepped into Tracy's first video game class. Tracy not only just taught us about this concept, she was very few people would have done so much to push for this to become a reality. The desire to break down the boundaries and make video game a part of our culture has driven Tracy to pioneer games that could reach out to people beyond core gamers. She herself has designed and produced games in theaters, one of the earliest multiplayer casual games, way before, a decade before Facebook, interactive television games, and more. While teaching at the school, Tracy advocates for games beyond the purpose of entertainment, producing various games collaborating with organizations like Getty Museum, LA Times, National Science Foundation, and various artists and scholars. These efforts lead to the creation of experimental games like Cloud, Darfur is Dying, The Cat and Coop, and The Night Journey. Even there are learning games made to attempt to build bridges between communities through play, helping first-generation students get into college.
She gave voice to the feeling Genova and I both had growing up, that these boxes in our living rooms and on our desks with chips and wires were capable, actually, of creating anything for anyone. And if all that weren't enough, she practices this all in her own work as an innovative game maker. She's received 3 grants from the National Endowment of Arts and 3 grants from the National Endowment of Humanities, which is a first for a game artist. Her current project, a game based on Henry David Thoreau's seminal work, Walden, is one of the first games in the world to be supported by an NEA grant, and was also selected for participation in the Sundance Institute's New Frontier Story Lab.
For these reasons and more, Tracy has been called a game changer, a trailblazer, and a pioneer in independent game design. Through her words and deeds, she has had a lasting impact on our industry. Even as she continues to support aspiring game developers and show the world the breadth and the depths of what video game can be, please join us now in welcoming her to the stage to accept the 2016 Ambassador Award.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both so much. Thank you all. I love you guys, and I'm so very proud of you both. I'm so proud of all the incredible young designers and developers it's been my privilege, my great privilege to work with over the years. And this is just such an incredible honor to get an award like this from my favorite group of people here at the Game Developers Conference. I came prepared. You know, this is my 22nd GDC. So, yeah, 22. So this is quite a way to mark that milestone. I hope this really isn't some kind of hint that it's time to retire. Seriously, I've been working in this industry for 25 years, half of my life, and it is an amazing community. It is full of such love and passion and intelligence and creativity and all the good things in life. And I know that games and play have touched each and every one of us in important and meaningful ways, and that's why we're all here. That's why we've made it our lives work to bring more joy and play into other people's lives. And I guess what it means to me to be an ambassador, an educator, to be an elder in this community is the responsibility that I have to ensure that many more people will get that same chance. People of many colors and genders and beliefs and nationalities and backgrounds. To make sure that all these people get to make the games that reflect their own sensibility and understanding of the world. We have a... We have a lot of room in our industry for new sensibilities, and we need new voices to thrive and grow as an art form. And yes, we are an art form. What an art form. What a moment for our art form. Just think of what we can do right now, what we are doing right now, and then project yourself 10, 20 years into our future. We are standing on the cusp of a revolution in play, and we need to start getting as many possible new voices as we can into this industry and getting them ready to build the kind of playful experiences that are going to reshape our world. Not just entertainment, but education and healthcare and government. And yes, all these industries are going to want game designers to rethink the way they engage with their communities. It's going to be huge and important, and the design of playful experiences is going to be at its center. So we have to be ready, and we have to open our hearts and minds to new communities of thought and diverse tribes of design. And we need to all be ambassadors every day to make ourselves into the most inclusive and robust industry of play imaginable, where new voices are welcomed and celebrated, and where they're invited to succeed, and they're supported and can feel free to express their own kind of wild, crazy, and beautiful ideas in the games that they make. where the spirit of play is like a brilliant, multifaceted jewel that shines in all of our lights. I thank you all so much for this award, and I cannot wait to see what's next for us all.